Back in September, the Chargers lost a blowout in their first matchup against the Jaguars. Can Jacksonville sweep the series? Find out next on EA Sports.
Something we've only seen less than a handful of times since this franchise was born back in the 90s, and that's Jacksonville hosting in the playoffs as we welcome you to TIAA Bank Field. Tonight we continue with Wild Card Weekend with what should be a great one between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the postseason on EA Sports. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, that's really all I need to say to get you fired up. It's the postseason on EA Sports.
And no one's more fired up than the guys who are going to be playing in this game. This is what they fought for all year long. Go back to the OTAs, the mini camps, training camp, throughout the season to get to the playoffs. The intensity level will be off the charts.
Trophy begins as we're underway in this AFC wildcard game. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Here are the Chargers ready to go on offense, led by their first-round pick in 2020, the man out of Oregon, Justin Herbert.
Let's face it, it doesn't matter if you're a rookie free agent or a 15-year vet. Guiding a team to victory on the road in the playoffs, that's no small feat. And it's going to be really important for him to play mistake-free football. But equally important, create some big plays as well to give his team confidence that they can win.
They started on the ground with Eckler, and he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Off the play fake to Eckler, it's Herbert. His throw incomplete. Right there in coverage was Foye Oluokun. But Charles, as we've covered, they've already clinched their spot in the postseason, so now they just want to avoid adding any additional names to this list before the postseason begins.
Terrific observation, because trying to move up a spot, I don't know if it's worth it if you're trying to play guys who aren't quite right. Get them healthy, get ready for the playoffs, make your move then.
On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. Jamal Agnew is deep to return it. This is fielded at the 27. They'll score it on a 36-yard punt, and the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by the first overall pick from a couple of drafts ago, former Clemson Tiger Trevor Lawrence.
And as we continually grade players, especially quarterbacks, how about this young man? 2nd year in the NFL, guided his team into the playoffs, and now he wants to show the world that they should buy in on him because he wants to evolve from that young quarterback to that true team leader that takes his team deep in the playoffs.
Straight ahead, Etienne. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Offside, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Lawrence. He'll get this one complete to Zay Jones. Calling a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. Throwing now, Lawrence on 1st down. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
Now Lawrence to throw. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
All right, partner, I'm going to be Captain Obvious right here. Not the start you're looking for offensively, right? Incomplete pass, followed by a sack.
And when he went down, it looked like that right ankle got turned, but thankfully he popped up okay, and they breathed a sigh of relief on that sideline. After the sack, oh, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's second and a country mile. First carry for the Clemson man, Travis Etienne. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Lawrence will throw. And looking for Kirk, but this pass is intercepted. Picked off by Nasir Adderley. And he brings this one back. It's a pick six and a Charger TD. So Charles, our first points of the game provided defensively. What play that was.
And I can only imagine that the folks at home watching are thinking to themselves, that's one of those plays where once the ball leaves the quarterback's hands, you just sort of go, uh-oh, and wait for the result. This time, the defense benefited.
Now the try here for the point after. And the Chargers grab the 7-0 lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Fields it right around the goal line. And he returns this to the 22. And now out come the Jags. I guess you could say they're kind of fortunate to be in the position that they're in, able to host as a division champ, because it's really one of the weakest divisions in the NFL.
And there's often the discussion every time, right? That 4th seed, should they actually be hosting? Because sometimes it turns out that division winner has a lesser record than wild card teams that get in, and some people think that'd be a more fair way of doing things. But I gotta tell you, I personally like it. The winning a division title, I don't care what the division, how it's ranked, it still means something to me, and I like the fact that they get to host.
I think that that's the reason you have the divisions. If you didn't, just stack them all up and take the best 6 records, but there's a division for a reason. The champion hosts the first round.
And the first rule of thumb in building a team, build a team to win your division. Beat those teams first, then you go from there.
Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Play action. It's Lawrence. And he can't escape, and down he goes. Kenneth Murray coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Not the start to this one that any quarterback would want or envision. Remember, he had the pick 6, and here he ends up on his backside.
Yeah, and you have to wonder to yourself, okay, after throwing the pick 6, did he get too careful with the football and not deliver downfield and take that sack? They've got to make sure that he's really into this game.
A shotgun snap and a give to Etienne. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
Offside, defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out and picked up by the Chargers. And some space here. And they are going to score on the fumble return. Touchdown, LA. huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
No going for two. They'll kick the point after. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. He'll get this off to ETN. 2 yards on the pickup there, and that'll make it second down. Here's Lawrence. On the slant, he'll get it to Jones. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it's 3rd and 4 now. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
On 4th down, on is Logan Cook to punt. DeAndre Carter back deep. Fielded at the 20. A nice job getting free on the return for 13 yards. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Chargers get set to go here for their second drive. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. Here's Eckler to begin the drive. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. They went 3 and out on their first drive. Things already looking better here. 1st and 10. First down for Chargers. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Charger football to start quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. A play fake, and now Herbert to throw. And this is caught. First catch for Keenan Allen. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Another first down there as this one goes for 25. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
I know that no game in the NFL is ever easy, but they're making it look that way. Everything is being done with such precision. Just on this drive alone, 3 plays, 3 first downs. If you're on defense, you're scrambling, looking at each other, trying to figure out how are we going to slow these guys down.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Herbert will give this one to Eckler. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Touchdown, Chargers. Keenan Allen, a 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Chargers continue to pull the playoff surprise as they lead big here on the road. Well, I don't think that we're ready yet to say the route is on, but they have certainly looked near flawless here in this first half, and now an extra point away from making it 21-0.
Yeah, and your experience led you to say that because we have both seen those 21-0 leads come and go in this league. But this one feels pretty darn secure. And here's the other part. Even when people chip away at it, it forces you into being almost perfect on the other side, doesn't it, in order to try and mount a comeback.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 21-0. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it was Keenan Allen who finished it all off with the touchdown reception. The kick unit on here for the Chargers as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. They've got to be a little shell-shocked. Down double digits at home in the playoffs. Still in the first half. They've got to turn things around quickly. Sliding out of the pocket. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Off the play fake, here's Lawrence. And looking for Cook, but this pass is intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And the Chargers are going to take possession of the football.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
The offense for Los Angeles returns to the field. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get the...
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. I think this defense, Charles, realizing the deficit they're facing, they're going to have to step up and make more plays like we just saw there.
Yeah, those are the type of plays that can focus a defense because, as we know, they've had their trouble so far in this one. But they just proved to themselves that they can get to him, and I expect them to continue to bring that type of pressure in order to try and turn around their fortunes.
So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they had the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, you know, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
Want to?
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just
called
it. I think you just called it desperation time. I think
did.
you did. But let's face it. You mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 2 minutes to play here in this first half of the NFL playoffs. On first down, Lawrence. This one complete to Christian Kirk. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. On second and very short, Lawrence. They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Lawrence going to get this to Etienne. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. But to throw again is Lawrence. Open man is Kirk, complete. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. On 1st and 10, it's Lawrence. And one more time, here's Kirk. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Lawrence. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
They're putting together a drive here in the final minutes of the half, but the coverage has been tight all game long, and they certainly want to keep them off the scoreboard here.
On 3rd and 1, it's Lawrence. And that is incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunk.
Touchdown, Jaguars. Zay Jones as the first half is winding down. And the Jaguars are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. And that's a critical touchdown. I don't want to be too hyperbolic or whatever, but they needed some points on the board before halftime.
They certainly did, and, you know, it's not going to erase everything that happened in the first half. Look, they got outplayed. There's no question about that. But now it gives them a chance to regroup, feel a little bit better about themselves. And how many games have we done where we've seen everything flip when another half begins? And by the way, you're saying hyperbolic?
I did. Thank you. Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And that'll make it 24-7. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Charger drive about to get going. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
On 1st and 10, Herbert. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. On 2nd down, Eckler. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. So we're at halftime of this AFC wildcard matchup. As we send you a couple hours south of here to Orlando, that's where we check in with a coach and our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. The second of our 2 games here on this Super Wildcard Saturday is at halftime. We'll get it back out to you guys in just a minute. But first, let's remind everybody what's coming up tomorrow in the AFC. We've got the 3-6 game, as it'll be the Miami Dolphins squaring off against the Buffalo Bills. With that, we take a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for the Chargers. And there were a few factors as to why they built this good-size advantage, but the rushing numbers were not all that amazing. We'll see if they can pick it up in the second half. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars, there's a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. and they'll need to get things in gear as they trail here at the break. Plenty of adjustments likely being made by both teams in their respective locker rooms. To find out who advances to the divisional round, let's get you back out to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. Both teams try to avoid being one and done in these playoffs as we start the second half of this AFC wildcard game. Taking it about the 1. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. And Charles, that had to be an interesting locker room at halftime. This is a team that's had so much success this year. Haven't really had to deal with a lot of adversity at halftime, to be honest, but now here they are with their playoff lives on the line. He's got a man complete. And he's going to be pushed out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. It's a big play for the Jaguars. 67 yards. And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we can at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there.
And that, in a nutshell, shows you what this guy's made of. I mean, most guys in the NFL just can't do that. He absorbed the contact, refocused himself, and made a break for the end zone.
Here's Lawrence to throw. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 3 yards is the gain that time. 2nd and goal.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Lock it, heel. Check.
On 2nd down, a run with Etienne. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Travis Etienne taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Jags are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. Well, that was a quick drive. The passing game set it up, and then the running game finishes it off.
And how about how few plays it was to get it done, but they threw it downfield and then pounded it into the end zone. And as a former defender, I can tell you, it hurts just a little bit more when they run it into the end zone instead of throwing it.
Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And the lead down to 10, 24-14. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. DeAndre Carter now from his end zone. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points. And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Running on first down, Eckler. And he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory. 46 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Here's Herbert. And that one complete to his receiver, Palmer. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. Eckler, they run left side. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Andre Cisco there on the stop. Third quarter, wild card round. Thanks for being along for the playoff ride with us. Here's 2nd and 10. He's got Allen. And give him 6 yards here as he's stopped near the 35 at the 34. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Herbert on 3rd down now. And that's knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their
He just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And that will extend their lead even further. So 3 points, response there to that opening touchdown of this third quarter.
And that's an important 3, both in terms of adding to your lead, but also in letting the other guys know you're not going to just come out in the second half and take over.
Fields it right around the goal line. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. That catch moves him over 100 yards now for this wild card game. And a first down as well. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
2nd and 10 forthcoming here. Third quarter action from Jacksonville. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. A gain there of 30 big ones.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play. Don't we? Got caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field, pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route well run, and the football right on the money.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. They'll go option to the short side. 9 yards on the first down. Keeper it at 2nd and 1. Well, that's what he can do when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop it.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained, and in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
From the 30 on 2nd down, Lawrence. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. One quarter remains for the right to survive round 1 here in the AFC. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Jacksonville. It's Jaguar football, but a little work to do for them. They trail here as we start the 4th. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Lawrence. Got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. Zay Jones, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Jaguars have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. Well, time to let those folks know who are tuning in looking for the late local news. We may be a moment because we've got a game again.
And, partner, except for those on the West Coast where it'll be seen in its regular time, right? That's the way it works, doesn't it? But how about that? Big-time drive right there. If they're going to have any chance, they needed a touchdown there, and they went right down the field and worked their way into the end zone.
And now remember, all touchdowns are reviewed, and in a tight game like this, they're going to take a good long look at it. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. Fielded right around the 8. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Now the Chargers offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And right now they're just looking for a little more cushion, trying to make this a 2-score game. Points here would go a long way, obviously, to propelling them into the next round.
And this is where the head coach, offensive coordinator, they've had to set a tone all year long about what they do on offense. So most teams want to stay in attack mode, but you have to do it with some bit of caution, don't you? Because you can't come away with no points. You need these points here in order to feel a lot better about where they are in this game.
But this time of the year, playoffs, game of this magnitude, this is what we hope for.
Yeah, it's exactly what we hope for. You want to run your offense cautiously, but not so cautiously that you just give it up.
So in Jacksonville territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Back to throw here, Herbert. Past the 20. And he will step out of bounds all the way down at the 5-yard line. A big play there for L.A. And even 40 yards. He had one touchdown earlier, nearly a second one there.
Yeah, it took a touchdown-saving tackle to keep him out of the end zone after a big play. Perhaps you go right back to him. Don't need the distance, but maybe he can pay things off after a big effort.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Out of the gun, Eckler running it. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. Here's Herbert. And this will be caught in the end zone for a Chargers touchdown. Austin Eckler from 8 yards out. And the Chargers get an important score there to extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. And that's certainly an important touchdown there. It makes this a 2-score game.
But as we've seen, no lead is safe in this one with the way these two offenses have lit up the scoreboard. I would imagine that on their sidelines, they're both yelling at their defenses, hey, you want to get involved here? One big play from you, that could win the game for us.
And this one's caught. And their 4th quarter lead grows by a couple more. So they're able to throw it in for the 2-point conversion. Sometimes that can be a risky play, but they got it.
Yeah, you always have to be careful here because if you do get it intercepted, it's returned by the defense, that's 2 points for them. But he identified an open target and put it right on him.
The kick unit on here for the Chargers as they will send this one away. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. If they want to advance in this divisional round, look, obviously the time is now. Trailing here in the 4th as they go to work on a crucial drive, 1st and 10.
Let's go. Alert, alert. Block it, block it.
Now Lawrence. They'll try and set up the screen, ETN. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Nice job by the defense figuring that play out and holding it to a short game, but I don't think the offense is going to be daunted. They actually accomplished their goal there. Now they've got them aware that they can throw a screen at them, maybe to slow the pass rush down a little bit, and they can throw it downfield.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. So the screen good for only 2. Now it's 3rd down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
The Jaguars on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 6. Now Lawrence. Oh, that's the 3rd interception for Lawrence. Picked off by Nasir Adderley. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Charger TD. So this defense doubling its pleasure there. Remember, they had the fumble return for a score earlier in the game, and now this time an interception return for another score. The try here for the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Jacksonville set to go again offensively. They are most likely staring at a cold end to their season here in this wild card round. Nothing has gone right so far, and they are, to be frank, in desperation mode now as they begin with a 1st and 10. And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
On 2nd and 10, Lawrence. Complete to Jones. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Lawrence. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Michael Davis. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Charger TD. This defense just continuing to do their thing, and now they add on to that lead with another pick 6.
And how about the way they've played this entire game? Not only they put their stamp on it, but every time they try and mount an offensive challenge, they find a way to thwart it. And multiple pick 6s, oh yeah, they'll enjoy watching this tape after the game.
Now the try here for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Jacksonville back on offense and ready to take over. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. Here we go, gotta have it. Lawrence, he completes it to Jones. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield, incomplete. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing again here. It's Lawrence. Escaping the pressure right. And that one going to come up short. Low throw. Well, I kind of got to give him credit. Another incompletion there, yes, but he's still trying to make plays outside the pocket.
Yeah, he's been hemmed in for much of the game. How about him getting outside there? And that's what you want to see from your quarterback. He's not giving up on this game, so every other player in the field has to say to himself, I can't give up either.
This pass is going to wind up incomplete. They're going on 4th down. Lawrence And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Charger defense stands tall, and they get the football back. The Charger drive about to get going. They have bucked the trend so far. Sterling performance to this point on the road, no less, in the wild card round. And they look to finish things off here in this fourth quarter. Eckler going to get it again on second down. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down. And a wild card win moves them on to the divisional round.
Everyone plays all year long for the right to get into the tournament, as they like to call it. Wild card, divisional, doesn't matter to them. One moves on, one goes home.